Welcome back. I've got a review video for you this time. Now I'm going to be reviewing the Commander NV100. This is a day and night spotter and day and night scope attachment from oneleaf.ai. So here's some of the key features. You can have a quick scan down this yourself. I'm not going to dwell too much on this and read it out because it's all available on the website at oneleaf.ai. I'm not going to go into the whole unboxing process and the whole video in that sense, because this is more of a review, but you can see all of the equipment you get in the box and you can have a good look at that on the website as well. Here we have some of the key specs of the product. I'm not going to go and read off all of these specs. I've highlighted the main ones that I'm interested in green. Now, apart from the beautiful 256GB SD card this thing can hold, what I'm especially interested in is the Sony Starvis CMOS sensor. Now, the Starvis CMOS sensor is actually very widely used. It's used around the world in various applications. It's used for things such as camera systems in warehousing. It's used in the motoring industry. It's used in some mobile phones, I understand, and it's also used in CCTV. Take a look at the Sony Starvis website for more information. Some of the other key features that I'm interested in is things like the external power supply, the infrared that it uses, which is 850nm. I'll go into that a little bit more detail later on, and the battery type being the 18650 battery. Now notice it says 6 hours battery life here. I didn't get that out of the unit, but I will discuss this in more detail a little bit further on. The night vision detection range of 328 yards. I can tell you before we even start the review itself that is pretty accurate. It is a very nice bit of kit. Don't just take my word for it. Have a look at the oneleaf.ai website and you'll see a whole load of reviews from other happy customers. Right, let's have a look at the box. So this is the box I received from OneLeaf. I'm not going to go into a full unboxing video because that's not what this is about. I just want to quickly show you some of the key features of the device and we'll move on. So you get in the box, just a reminder to remove the security tab off the battery because it comes with a standard 18650 installed. You get a nice lens cloth, but you don't know what that's for. And the instruction booklet is very simple, very straightforward, but very comprehensive as well. So it covers everything you need to know, from specifications to adding and removing the battery, SD card, talks you through all your menu systems and what you can and can't do. And it also explains in the back how to do a firmware update. Now, I'm not going to go into any more detail with that. What I'm going to do with that is leave that in case you decide to buy one, because that's a bit of bedtime reading for you and I don't want to spoil the story. The whole unit comes packed in this lovely styrofoam type material, so you can see how well packed that is, and that gives it a great bit of protection when it's out and about in transit. Now, I'm going to talk through what's in the box very quickly. I got 3 of these. These are your scope adapters. They screw onto your scope, and I'll show you that in a moment. Now, when you're buying the device online, it looks like you buy a device and you select the scope adapter that you need, which come in 42mm, 45mm and 48mm sizes. So you need to make sure you select the right one. In the corner, got some Allen keys and a USB lead. The USB lead works as an external power supply for this, or to connect an external power supply such as a battery pack like this. It also works to allow you to transfer files off the device, and you can also use it to charge the battery as well. So that is an important piece of kit. You get additional eye relief here, which is a nice to go on the back. And you also get some electrician's tape, and I'll explain what that is in a moment. Let's quickly take the device out and I'll run you through what I think. Now, when I was asked to review this and I saw the price bracket, I wasn't actually sure what I'll get. I was a bit sort of like, you know, $299, 214 British pounds. But you know what? Absolutely beautiful. Look at the quality of that. So smooth, beautiful, good quality plastic and machined aluminium. All fits together really well. No gaps, no stress marks. All the grub screws and screws are in there really nice and snug and tight. And it's absolutely brilliantly put together. I'm really impressed with it. Weighs in at 340 grams. Comes with a 2-year warranty and is waterproof/resistant. Now I say it like that because on the website it says it's waterproof, but I also see it stating it's water resistant. So just to err on the side of caution, I'm going to say it's water resistant. This is your diopter focus to get a nice pin sharp view on your reticle and your menus. This is your objective focus for the main lens. All are really super smooth and just you can roll them so easily. Very nice indeed. This is your main compartment where your control center is, if you like. So you've got an earpiece for listening to the playback, micro USB lead, which is what we discussed earlier on for charging the unit, transferring files and for external power. And this here is a SD card slot. Now I'm using a 64 gig SD card in here. This is one I had lying around. Well, told the wife that. It's actually one I went to buy so I could test the device out. Now this unit will take 256 gig SD cards. It records in H.265 format, so produces .ts video files. Now I'm not a big fan of the .ts files because my video editing software likes the standard 264 format, MP4s, but that's not a problem whatsoever because you can just get a very quick and easy video converter, such as something from NCH software, and you can run that through and convert them very easily. On the front here, we've got the infrared illuminator. Now this is rated out at 328 yards, and they've chosen the 850 nanometer frequency, which I'm really pleased with actually. I'm a big fan of the 850 nanometer. If you're new to night shooting, it's worth understanding the two different frequencies in use. Generally they are listed as IR 850 and IR 940. The numbers represent the frequency of the infrared light, so 850 nanometers and 940. I'm not going to discuss that here, but you just might want to understand the difference between the two. But anyway, I'm glad to see this is using the 850 nanometer. So it's got 6 different illumination levels, which you control from the menu at the back, and you've got a spot or a flood depending on what you need. This here is a 2 milliwatt red laser, and this allows you to highlight a target downfield and use it as a 0/spotter if you want. The optics on this are superb, really nicely done. Good quality glass, and you can also see on here we've got some quick release connectors on here, and I'll explain what they are at the moment. This is your tripod stand on the bottom. Everything's operated via the back, so that's your infrared levels, your laser, your digital zoom, your one touch record and stop here, and your menus and your power. And the beauty of this is just hit record and you can take your shot, hit record to stop recording. Really is that simple. Okay, what I'm going to do is very quickly show you this. Now, this is what the electrician's tape's for. This is a bit overkill. This is just me going a bit over the top, but essentially it allows you to build up that space between your scope and the scope mount. So if you put the scope mount on and it's not quite sitting right, you can build it up with some tape, get it in line, tighten up the grub screws on the screws on the top, and that'll lock it down. I've just put this extra stuff on just because I had some spare, and it made sure it was nice and solid. The unit itself clicks on like this. That's it, done. Off you go. Really is that simple. That's how smooth it is. And you can see the quick release here, so you just pull that quick release and it's off. That simple. And if you watch carefully, you can see how it just lines up again. You can just see it drop into place. Now, for this unit, as I say, for 214 quid, I'm absolutely blown away. Really impressed with it. And I'm going to show you now some shooting footage, less the shots, because it's a review video, not a hunting video. And let's get it on the rifle, get it out there, see what it can do. Now I'm out in the yard at the moment, and this is the farmyard that's 115 yards away from where I am. I'm recording it in the daylight so you can see the sort of quality that this device provides. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to show you it again in the dark with the infrared, and you can do a comparison between the two. I'm going to move around the yard, provide a little bit of footage of trees, the sky backdrop, and some of the machinery. I want you to imagine that you're out on a rat shoot, a daytime rat shoot, or in this case shooting some corvids or some wood pigeons, and you can see the quality of the device. Nice sharp reticle. Again, that's what I've done with that is I've focused it in on the diopter, got it nice and sharp, and then I've attached the unit to the back. You see Mr. Ratty here? There we go, just off to the right there. Now, this is a whole lot of slabs that are in one part of the yard, and all I'm doing is just sort of panning around as if I was looking for some quarry, and to give you an idea of what you would see on your final footage. I do have some shots in here, but I do censor them out just because this is more of a review than a hunting video. We can see that. Good quality sound on there for the shot, so you can get the shot in. I'm not really keen on these devices that don't record the sound, because it's nice to be able to tie the sound of the rifle going off to the footage and the impact. This wood pile is, well, it appears to be collecting rats. It's got a nice little rat run underneath there. That's been there a few months now, so they've got established rat runs. But you can see the quality, you can see the grain on the footage, and the overgrowth, and obviously the straw and the hairline around it. And you can see just it is very, very nice quality footage actually. And again, this is over by where those slabs of rock were. I'm not taking the shot on him because, like I said, this is a review rather than a hunting video, but you can see the quality. And even when he's out in the dark, when he's hidden in between where there's no light, you can see the outline of the rat. Let's head back across to the wood pile. Now I want you to notice the low light levels underneath there where it's a bit dark. I'm 23 yards away, but you can still spot the rat clearly when he pokes his head out. Nice clean shot. Straight down and quick reload. Very nice footage there. Typical British weather. The heavens have opened. It's peeing it down, so I've come into the barn for a bit of shelter. So I thought I'd make a quick video note and just say one thing about this before I forget. I absolutely love this. So seriously, I've always stayed clear of these clip-on units, just because I've always thought, well, by the time you get the adapter on, and because I tried making one a while back, homebrew one, and it just wasn't very good, but these have come on so far. Done. The trickiest bit for me was going back to a conventional scope, because I've been using an ATNX sight for so long, and it has a built-in rangefinder, so I ping the target and adjust the reticle, and I don't need to worry about hold off. I set up the target 25 yards at the bottom of the barn, reset the scope, turrets, zeroed it in, worked out what my holdover and hold under would be for the different distances, and then once I'd done that, it was just a case of literally taking that and locking it on. So now I can record all the footage. I don't have to worry about the zero adjustment or anything, and it's good to go for the night as well. As soon as I switch that IR on, I do miss the rangefinder, I will be honest. Now with the ATN you just ping the target, adjust the reticle, because it's got an onboard ballistic calculator. Even if it's had a rangefinder that you could pair with it, or if it had one built in or whatever, it would be so much better. But as it stands, what I'm doing is I'm using a conventional rangefinder. I've got all the hold-offs there, and I am working out where I need to be in relation to the ratty hotspots. Then I know the distance, 20-25 yards or thereabouts, and then I know I'm on pretty much on zero and I can take the shots. The battery life on this, I must say, is alright, but I'm about halfway through the battery now. It's churned up about half the battery. I've only really been using it for about an hour and a half maybe, so the battery life's not fantastic, but because it uses rechargeable 18650s, like I said earlier on, you can just simply unscrew the battery compartment, drop a new one in, and you're good to go. So I'm waiting for the rain to ease off. It's coming in dark now, so I can probably just about justify using the IR, and I think it's going to get dark pretty quick now. So let's get some nice footage and see how we get on. Out in the farm in the dark, I noticed this device performed just as well as it did during the day. I'm shooting on level 3. Now, I don't need to take the IR above level 3. Most of the ratting that I do is sort of sub 30 yards. Generally, I shoot around about the 20 yard mark when I'm ratting. You can turn it up very easy, just a couple of clicks on the main menu on the back of the device, and you can crank it up to 4, 5 or 6, and you can also push the beam further by focusing it, by simply pulling the sheath from around the bulb forward, and that'll focus the IR. Look at the machinery. Imagine that you're on a rat shoot and you're looking for rats climbing on, around and under this machinery. You can even see the glistening of the water where the rake's been outside, out on the bottom there. Very, very nice quality. Really impressed with this. Now the clarity of the image is vital when you're night shooting, in my opinion, because when you spot Mr. Rat sitting up on the wall like this, looking down at the cattle feed underneath, you want to make sure you can get a nice clean headshot on him. Okay, I said we were going to return to the farmhouse, and we have. Now I'm back in the same place as I was earlier on, 115 yards away from the farmhouse, again on IR level 3. Don't need to go above that, although it can be focused if needs be. Okay, just going to wrap it up for tonight. I've been out probably 2 and a bit hours, and overall really impressed with this. Really nice bit of kit. However, I must point out, you see this? I've had to connect an external battery pack. After about probably an hour and a half, maybe less than that, the battery provided with the unit, which I believe is a Samsung, seemed to drop to about a quarter, 25%. As soon as it reaches that level, the scope won't power on. And by that I mean the device itself seems to power on, but the screen doesn't. If you press and hold the infrared, you can hear the filter moving, the IR filter, but even when you drop the battery out and put it back in, it doesn't work. So what I did was I thought maybe it's the battery, so I connected the external battery pack, give it a few seconds, powered it back up, no problem, it's all working again. So one thing I will say is the battery performance is not that great. I don't know if it's a battery that they provided, whether it's just like a token battery to get you up and running, but one thing I will say is if you're going to use this for any length of time, make sure you take 2, 3 18650 batteries with you, so you know you've got plenty for the evening shoot. Other than that, I've got to say the infrared performed well, the recording performed really well, the device itself was spot on, and I'm looking to get another rifle, so I will be using this. I'll be keeping this and I'll be putting on the other rifle as well, but overall really impressed. Just a few final thoughts to wrap up the video. I've had this unit for about 4 weeks. I've been through all the documentation in the box, done all my bedtime reading. I've been through all the documentation online and all the specs. I've used it as a spotter, a day scope and a night scope, and I'm really impressed. I generally shoot with an ATN X-Sight 4K Pro, and it's a completely different setup. It's a whole scope unit and everything. This is the add-on adapter. Now if you're looking for something at that sort of level, then this unit isn't it. This is an entry-level device, but at the time of making this video, it was retailing around about £214. Now that is going to get you up and running in under 10 minutes to start recording your shoots. Absolutely brilliant. I think in reality though, you'd be looking about £230 or £240 setup, because you are going to need an extra couple of 18650 batteries. Now you will notice that throughout this review I've picked out a couple of bad points, or a couple of not necessarily negatives but gripes. One of them being the video recording in H.265 TS format rather than the H.264 MP4 format, and also the battery life. Now I can do that because One Leaf sent me their unit to test and review openly and honestly, and that's what I've done. Some manufacturers will send you a device on the proviso that you pay for it, and if you give them a good review, they will refund you the money. Now, I'm not interested in those sort of reviews, because unless you give a good review, you're out of pocket. I want manufacturers that are confident in their kit to send you the stuff and allow you to use it, test it, and see how you get on. One Leaf did that, and I am really impressed with this. This is an honest and genuine review, and I'm really impressed with the unit so far. The infrared performed fantastic. Most of the shooting I did all night was on level 3. Now it goes up to level 6. You're not going to need that, to be honest with you, because it's a nice powerful IR and you can focus the beam very easily. Overall, for a shooting unit, as I said, for £214, even if you are an experienced shooter and you want to start recording your footage and putting videos together for YouTube, this is a fantastic unit. It is so easy to use. The menus are simple and straightforward. Everything you need is in the box, and it's very sturdy built. Overall, very, and I think you will be too. I hope this video was useful. I hope I've covered off everything that you need to know, everything that you wanted to know. If you've got any questions, please chuck them in the comments below, and I'll do whatever I can to to answer them, and I will ask Jason at One Leaf if I need to, if I can't answer them myself. But if this was any good to you, then please do subscribe. Have a look at some of the hunting footage I've got on the channel as well. And as my son would say, smash that like button. And I'll see you in the next video.